Hi, I'm Cody DePablo.
And I'm Michael Weatherly.
And this is Off Duty. We're talking about Season 3, Episode 11, Model Behavior.
Cody, why don't you tell us about the guest this week?
Joe Spano, who you likely know as FBI Special Agent Tobias Fornell. Welcome to Off Duty. Welcome to Off Duty, an NCIS Rewatch podcast. This week on the show, we're talking Season 3, Episode 11, Model Behavior. 3 supermodels take part in a reality TV show aboard the Marine Corps base at Quantico. One of them disappears, but shows up dead on a fence. The NCIS investigates. For context, I love that. Just like...
It's so good for context.
I love it. For
Just
context.
so we know where we are.
Yeah.
What happened when this show aired? The day
By the way,
this show aired.
November 29th, 2005, one of my favorite years ever. Surgeons in France carried out the first human face transplant. By the way, do you remember where that whole thing came from?
The face transplant?
Well, it became kind of a big deal because of, if I'm not mistaken, a woman called Chandra Nash. Remember the monkey accident? There was a woman in the East Coast that went into a house and
a monkey attacked her?
Monkey attacked her and it was
and
like
ate
this
her face,
horrible...
so she got a face transplant?
No, it was a horrible, horrible thing.
I thought you were going to say the John Travolta movie with Nicolas Cage.
Face Off?
Face Off.
No.
I didn't know where you were going.
different.
To be quite honest, of course, I went to a movie reference and you went to a tragedy.
Oh, God.
Okay, let's go to the next one.
Proposed internet domain XXX for pornography was dropped shortly before the domain was set to receive approval. I wonder why. About 4,000 military history enthusiasts from 23 countries gathered in the Czech Republic to reenact the epic battle of Austerlitz between the First French Empire and the Austrian Empire and Imperial Russia.
I feel like that was a long time ago.
You're like, well, we don't need to reenact that. In the episode today. Do you want to
Can
tell
I
us
read
about
the
it?
episode synopsis?
Yeah, please do.
Because this one, I'm really gonna, I kind of, and then you can read it afterwards. So we'll have a little competition.
Oh, good. I love it.
Okay, ready? I'm going to
Healthy
use my
competition, by the
announcer
way.
voice. I'm going to bring this in.
Go.
A supermodel is found dead after having overdosed on PCP at a Marine base where the reality TV show in which she was participating was being filmed. Her ex-boyfriend is also found dead in a motel nearby, having overdosed on heroin, leading the team to believe that their deaths may have been related to their relationship.
Wow.
On Off Duty.
You did it.
I did it, kids.
There's no need for me to do it again.
Okay.
Or ever.
Can I just also say that Joe Spano is our special guest. He's not in the episode synopsis because he's not in this episode. But it turns out it was his favorite one of the whole series.
Oh, come on. That's so not true. It was not his favorite episode.
You liked the one with Bootcamp Babes? Do tell. Can I just also say about this model behavior episode? While I felt that it was not the performance of a lifetime from Anthony Donoso. Okay, it was Michael Weatherly performing. I can't blame Donoso.
But I think we both got to the same conclusion. It wasn't our favorite episode.
But I don't want to blame the episode. I'm going to lay that at my own, a partial blame as to, because, there were so many funny moments. I really see that, Jimmy Palmer shining. I see David McCallum.
Oh my God, David McCallum was so good.
Pitch perfect. And the Probalicious.
Limelight, that's that club in Chelsea.
Yeah, you been?
Actually, no, I saw it on Wild On.
It's so proby-tastic in this one because
proby-tastic. That's like a new thing.
He doesn't overcook the I'm nervous in front of the supermodels. He plays frankly a lot smarter beats than I made the really easy choices as an actor. I was having fun, like you said, it was kind of like eating candy the whole time, and I was just like, boot camp babes, and I'm just gonna. But I stayed in the shallow part of the puddle, and I didn't have enough splashy splash. And you, let's talk a little bit about your hair in the episode, can we?
Anything else we can help you with? Like maybe some hair tips for your girlfriend here?
No, I think that about covers it.
It's one of my favorite subjects.
I'm shifting
yes,
gears.
Please.
I noticed a little bit of a comb over happening.
Well, it wasn't quite a comb over as much as it was like hair shifting.
Hair shifting.
Yeah.
It was wild.
It's
it
like
was a little
shape-shifting.
wilder. Do you remember shooting that episode? Or do you remember your parents coming to visit out there?
I do remember that.
We went to a restaurant, as I recall, out there.
We did?
No, I have. That's my memory.
I think you invented that.
No, I don't think I did. But you can ask your mom.
Was it my mom?
Your mom and your dad.
Oh, yes.
This is 2005.
Yes.
In the Wayback Machine. All right. Talk to me about, okay, do you think any of the models surprised you with their acting skills? This is one of the topics.
Yeah.
One of the questions.
I mean, there was a real model there, like a big time model.
Cameras are off, Natalie. You can stop pretending you cared about her.
You didn't get along.
We're supermodels, honey. We don't have to get along.
Minnie.
I believed her.
Not only did I believe her, but she was also surprisingly
And she worked a lot after that. I think we were one of her first 5 shows or something that she did.
She was
but
really
then
good.
She went on to work and have a great time. So here's the thing. Do you remember where you shot it? Where was the base?
San Pedro.
You are right.
I have an incredible memory.
How do you remember that?
I had to drive there.
That's why. That's why.
We all did.
Yeah, we did. That's it.
And also, it was one of my favorite locations because I like being close to the water.
Yes.
And so, you know, it was just fun to get away from it all and feel like you were away from Santa Clarita and you were, you know, by the water.
Okay.
Even though it was incredibly, like, what a weird place.
Weird place,
It's a weird
beautiful,
place.
strange.
Strange, yeah.
And Leon Carroll loved it because it was like 2 seconds from his house and his wife
Yeah.
would come over and visit. She's so hilarious.
Oh my
so
God,
funny.
she was the best.
Okay, so this is a funny question. Okay, because in the story, the dad he doesn't like that his daughter is going to marry a Marine.
You killed your own daughter. It was an accident. What was I supposed to do? She was going to throw her life away, be some jarhead's housewife.
Okay, so your child is going to get married and you find out that the person they're marrying has an occupation you don't like. What would that occupation be?
Oh God, I wouldn't even know where
Name,
to start.
just to think of one.
I can't.
Porn star.
I've never.
What about a porn star?
Oh God, no. I mean, no, probably,
Like
definitely no.
Okay, so that's one that you wouldn't approve
Sure,
of.
I just never thought of it.
Okay, model behavior. Out of scale 1 to 10, I know I told you about this blog where they rate it in Jimmy Palmer's. Let's find our own off-duty rating system.
Okay,
What should we give them?
we'll give him a hamster 5.
Hamsters. Hamster 5s. So should we go 1 to 5, 1 to 10, 1 of 100?
1 to 10.
Should we go Rotten Tomatoes on the hamsters? 1 to 10.
Okay. 1 to 10.
Model behavior.
Definitely a hamster 4 for me.
Hamster 4.
Hamster 4, hamster 5.
I'm going hamster 6.
Wow. I thought you agreed that it was a 5.
I did. It was a 5 in the Palmers, but in hamsters, I'm giving it a 6 because I realized that your parents came to visit the set on that one, and it makes it a little more important.
Well, we're not talking about like whose parents were there. We're talking about.
I'm grading the whole experience.
Oh, well, then if the experience is the experience, and I
okay.
could say it's a 10
Next.
because the experience is always great, or it was great.
Okay. Kill area 1 and 2. How many chipmunks do you give it?
A 10.
10 across the board.
Yeah, I think for 1 and 2 for me.
Chipmunks. 10 chipmunks. Okay.
10 hamster.
Boy, that shows a lot of, you can really fall apart in season 3. You can go from a 10 to
Well,
a 4.
it's just that I think it's good to, you know, I think it's good to love something a lot and then to kind of, you know.
What do you think about making those models do pull-ups during boot camp babes? That didn't seem fair to me.
Let's go, move! Come on, show me what you're made of. Come on now.
I loved it because they were just so like, I can't do this.
This is before social media really kicked off and that whole thing.
But it was the beginning.
It's a
Remember, it
time
was
capsule.
the beginning of the reality TV world.
You talk about The Simple Life with Paris Hilton and Nicole
Right.
Richie. We're making references. In a way, it's a perfect time capsule I guess there's a lot of time capsules on our show.
Yes.
But this one really highlights like a moment in American television that maybe
changed everything.
Maybe not our proudest moment.
No, it changed everything.
But all the YouTubers and all the stuff now that you see, people, we're all living in a house with 500 balloons. How long can we last? And it's like, there's this guy, you'll start to get this as soon as your son gets a remote control in his little paws. Mr. Beast. Have you heard
I've heard of Mr. Beast? Yes.
Mr. Beast doesn't happen without Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie living on a farm.
Oh, no, that's what I'm saying. It's the beginning and the end.
When do you think these podcasts are going to go out of style?
I think it's just the beginning.
I think it is too.
Yeah.
I think people care.
Your jurisdiction doesn't supersede the FBI. With us joined at the hip, all they can do is watch and bitch. How's your butt?
It's still bouncing on the beltway.
Look, if it was up to me, I'd put a round through his forehead. It's not.
My second biggest mistake, Jethro? That's very dramatic. What was the first?
When you married my second wife.
You ever go to the movies?
I built a boat.
We really screwed this one up.
Oh, you think, Tobias?
Oh, no, I'm hurt. You're saying you don't trust me?
He's making jokes. You've never worked with NCIS before, have you, Agent Sachs?
People say we're bastards?
Only because they know us.
Hello, Joe.
Hello. That opening thing in that shot, in that episode is quite shocking.
It is shocking.
It is shocking. But
before we do anything, can I do something here? I brought some things for you. I wanted not to be just
did you say something, Tim?
I did not say anything.
This is so weird because I just saw Mary Oliver. This is one of, by the way, The Wild Geese is one of my favorite poems.
And on set, she pulled me over one day.
No, this is after I left.
Mary Olivered me.
Yeah. And I said, you do not have to be good. And then one of my favorite lines is, let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. And that to me was essential in so many ways, you know? So this is like so weird that you're coming with this book.
Okay. So first of all, I noticed a trend in the whole season 3. There's like Bootcamp babes. There's Voyeur's Web with the website. There is a kind of sauciness to the
I think it was
season.
the writers and the age group.
I don't even remember them.
We had young writers.
Yeah.
We had one called Bikini Wax in season 2.
Oh my God, yes.
But there were younger-ish writers who were kind of the voice of a lot of these scripts. We had David North, we had Steve Binder, we had Jesse Stern, we had these young guys, and coming up with crazy things that, frankly, in retrospect, wildly inappropriate, wouldn't fly today. But Bootcamp babes, real models.
Yes, real models. The lead girl was named Minnie, right? Minnie.
Amazing Swedish.
Yeah.
Was it
so
was the
cool.
title, though? It wasn't Beach Camp. What was it?
No, it was model
Bootcamp.
model behavior.
Model behavior.
But Bootcamp Babes was the name of the reality show they were doing inside the
right.
where the models were in the Marine Corps. And for some reason, Jenny Shepard with her new haircut decided.
Oh, by the way, it's very funny because she did cut it, and we made a reference to the haircut looking very elfy.
She went with the elf cut.
It's called the Pixie.
I think she looks terrific.
Which I have to say was very unfair because she looks really beautiful.
Nobody's going to say a bad word about Lauren Holly. But
no, but especially the haircut, like it suited her.
It was a good haircut.
It looked really good on her.
But
like,
when Director
really
Shepard
beautiful.
was defending the idea that the Marine Corps should do a reality TV show about models doing boot camp as a recruitment device, it jumped many sharks way before.
Yeah, and the relationship between the head of the NCIS and and Mark was like, wow, this is okay. But it was entertaining. It was entertaining.
The thing that the show had was that it was always entertaining. But it's funny because you were Googling that episode and you got how many Jimmy Palmers?
It only got 5 Jimmy Palmers. There's a website that grades every episode. Somebody did 365 days, 365 episodes, and it's some blog. And so each day they watched one and reviewed it. And they eviscerate a couple of them, but you
this
get
one
graded
got,
on
I
Jimmy
think, what,
Palmer's.
4 or 5?
They got 5 Jimmy Palmers out of 10, and it's a little picture of Jimmy going.
So it was actually graded by a super fan, and we have to agree. You were reading the entire thing, and you were saying, "I really like this guy because he's totally right. He's honest, and he's right on it." You know?
So, high or low brow, the bar is not really set anywhere for the. It's kind of like playing tennis without a net. when you're watching an episode of NCIS, because the net is kind of arbitrary, because you're just going to enjoy watching the thing unfold, you know?
Yeah, you
just want to watch everybody run around.
Yeah.
And
you kind of want to watch your family do the thing they do, you know?
Or watch models in boot camp.
When that first shot, as I said before, it was just like, what?
But I didn't understand. The first shot, you see her in bed, and then they come back and she's not in bed.
No, you start with the first crotch in the first bed,
right?
And there, the blanket is like right below.
Well, it was warm.
No, they're wearing underwear. I mean, they're wearing panties. I mean,
yes, they are. They're wearing panties. But that's what you see, and that's the shot.
Sure.
To the second.
I don't remember this part.
Second crotch.
Well, you guys seem
to the
have
empty bed. Which
no, because by the way, for me, it was just like, oh, okay, that's just another episode. But it's funny that you guys bring it up because it was kind of a.
But your relationship to them was really wonderful.
Oh yeah, it was all about like I hate models.
You can remember anything else that might help? Please give us a call.
It's called a business card. Maybe you can have one of the Marines read it to you.
This whole thing, and I was just like, what? And I remember shooting that episode and really liking the girls I was working with.
I'm sure
the girl who played Minnie was not only talented, but God, she was so gorgeous.
Oh, that's her name in real life.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, not the girl playing Minnie. Minnie, the actress who was hired to play the lead model. She was just she was fun. She was, and funny enough, in real life at the time, she lived very close to me, just a couple of houses down.
Really?
So every once in a while, she used to like walk her dog and stuff, and she was just pleasant and so beautiful and like the real deal. Like she was on the not on the cover, but I think Michael and we were talking about it. She had just done like a heavy-duty campaign for Louis Vuitton, where she was basically like pretty much, I think, if I'm not mistaken, maybe, I don't know if she was naked with a bag on, or maybe just, but it was like a massive thing. And she was like, on Sunset Boulevard on this massive Louis Vuitton. So she was like a real deal model. It wasn't like, like let's cast people that look like a model. She was a real deal thing.
I think that I and maybe one of the reasons that I had my reaction to it is that I think I did drop the ball character-wise on that one. I think
You fell into the trap?
The danger of Donoso is that you just stay in this sort of shallow, he's not like a good agent. He's kind of just, googly-eyed because, there's like pretty girls around or something.
It's not for sale.
It's free. Just like love. I'm a big fan of the show. You guys are really beautiful and great. And the show.
And I feel like I didn't do a great, maybe I'm just being self-critical. Maybe the episode
I think you are.
I think you are, because I think, by the way, most people, that's what they want to see when they see Donoso. I mean,
I know, but there was just a little bit, plenty of it is good. I think I may have used that color a little too much in the episode. I think I'm so
But by the way, you liked that candy. The entire episode had that candy. You know what I mean? So it would be very tough for you not to respond to the candy.
It's comedy, it's not that, nobody's, I don't think, judging you on, the depth of your, in that show.
No. And it's not about the depth. It's just sometimes you just throwing a couple other shades in there. When I look back at it, that's the hard part about watching yourself from 20 years ago.
Yeah. I was so glad we weren't doing one that I was in. It would have been terrible.
I thought that was your specific request. I'll come and do the podcast,
You're like,
but I will not watch one of my own shows.
You're like, I'll only come in for model behavior, specifically.
And did you know that there was a Tobias? I can't remember in Yankee White if he was Tobias or were you just Fornell? I'm wondering if Tobias came later or if, because Belisario loved creating names.
Yeah.
I mean,
Tobias
Leroy Jethro Gibbs.
But it's such a good name, Tobias.
Yeah. I bet that was there from the beginning. And you are kind of a Tobias.
Yeah, or I became one.
Yeah.
I became a Tobias.
Okay, you're pregnant with a thought. Please
I'm
share.
pregnant with a thought. San Francisco, 1967.
There was one, yes.
Were you in San Francisco in the 60s?
Yeah, I was in Berkeley. Actually, I graduated from UC Berkeley.
UC Berkeley.
Your dad was in World War II?
Yeah.
Because you were born right after the war.
I was.
And
wow.
Yeah, and so you would have been living with somebody who he saw action, as it were, like battle?
He was a co-pilot, so he was in a plane all
So
the time.
you and
I think
Harmon had that in common, where you had pilots for fathers.
You probably talked about that a lot, I imagine.
Sure we did.
You know Harmon, he's such a motor mouth. We remember his nickname?
No, but that's one.
Do you remember his nickname on the show? Gibbs' nickname?
No.
Functional mute.
Oh, functional mute. Yeah. But I feel like when you get Harmon going, he does talk about things, especially that. Yeah. He loves talking about them.
Until I walk into the room and then it's...
Well, but that's a separate issue.
Listen, there's a lot of people that clam up. But here's what's so interesting about this, because we've been really talking about journeys and paths and how choosing this path, which you did to great success and to much acclaim, right?
That's why I always liked you.
Because I was a big Hill Street Blues guy.
That's right.
But was there an energy in the 60s in the Bay Area that was in any way part of that seeding of the Joe Spano that we came to know and love?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you were freer to do that kind of thing. I didn't know theater. I didn't know plays. I didn't know what to do, but I did know that I wanted to say something if I was going to say it out loud in front of people, something that meant something that was deep.
And so trying to say something is interesting, because some people say something so that they can be heard, or that they can project something so that they can bask in the reflected glory of whatever it is that they've projected out there. You know, there's a lot of that, which is understandable in the crazy world that we live in. But there's this other side, which is I want to communicate something that's personal, that only I really, truly understand because it's essential to who I am. And do you feel that that is kind of, because I've always felt you were an incredibly spiritual, grounded human. And I see that when I watch you work, because you have this humor, this beautiful humor, but it's never fake or false or forced or for somebody else's benefit.
Thank you.
Yeah, because you're very funny.
Thank you.
But you're sort of funny the way the Dalai Lama can be funny.
Well, you are wearing a Dalai Lama scarf.
There you go. It is. I do love, there's also a rabbinical look to it. And,
I'm very, I clocked it immediately.
I feel like that's something that every time I got to work with you or talked with you, I always saw that playfulness that reminded me of, what was his name? George McGovern? Or no, that was a senator. Guy ran for president. Tom Hanks, funnily enough, said that you were very important to him. I'm
glad you got there, because I was going to tell you the story.
I know. I wanted to. That's why I did this circuitous thing. I talk way too weirdly anyway.
Well,
but tell me the Tom Hanks connection. I know you Apollo 13.
When we were doing Apollo 13, I was walking across the lot, and this guy in this black limousine with a New York accent said, Tom has got to get... I said, what? And he said, Tom, he might go grab you. I said, what is it? Tom wants to talk to you back over here. So I went in there, and they were in this big trailer, closed trailer, that they were doing exercises because they were going to go into the Vomit Comet.
Right, yeah, to the zero gravity thing.
Yeah, and there he was sitting on. He said, I just wanted to tell you that, okay, he overspoke, okay? He said, you're the reason I'm an actor, because he used to go to a college in Oakland. I can't remember the name of the college, but they would come to the Berkeley Rep. And they would come and see what we were doing over there. And
you're kidding me. So he saw you like in a stage production?
Yeah, I was at this theater for 10 years before
you played
I came down
Dracula.
I played Dracula. I played
all kinds of things.
I was
looking through your CV, and I'm like, Joe Spano.
But yeah.
Isn't
he was
funny
great, but he's also such a generous person.
But isn't it funny?
Yes, I hear he's a really terrific person.
But the people that
we actually met him at a party, Shimmy. We went to a party and he was there, and we said hi to him. And
I know.
And you were like, oh my
nervous.
God. Yeah, he was, of course, very
Well, he's
nervous.
very tall. Well, you are tall, too, as a matter of fact.
No, but it's not nerves
not
because of height, by the way. It's just he gets nervous around people that he admires.
Yes. Well, back then I did. I think I'd be a little more calm now.
You know so much. You do know so much, and you have a real feeling of the history of acting and movies, and you're so passionate about it that I think when you'll point out people that I don't even know, and you will know their history.
Oh, he's a total buff. Yeah, he loves it.
So I know that to love it so much, and much deeply love it. And it means so much to the story of yourself, I think, because we all have these stories.
Sure.
I thought about that coming here is, the stories we think about ourselves.
The myth you tell yourself.
Yeah. Well, I went deep into you guys. You were so important to the picture of what the show was to me, and going in every day. I mean, not that I didn't do that many shows, but
55 is a lot.
Have I done 55?
55 is a lot.
Okay.
Your mailbox every month should reflect that the checks that come in. It should be something.
It should be something substantial, by the way.
They're getting farther and farther away. Although I just heard yesterday that I'm going to do one this year. So
let's,
that's good.
For a second, get NCIS centric if we can.
Sure.
I and Cody and I both, we could stay in the deep end of the swimming pool with our goggles on happily, or even in an isolation tank in salt water.
And we can discuss this kind of stuff forever.
We could go forever and talk about modes of alienation, but I don't even know what that means. I think it's a Woody Allen reference. So NCIS, when you'd done JAG, and you'd worked with Don in the past in other capacities a little bit, right?
No, JAG was the only one I ever did.
Oh, JAG, you didn't do the judge one?
No.
How many episodes of JAG, by the way?
One.
Just the one?
Just one?
Yeah.
So how did you get to NCIS?
Well, I'm really not sure. I had known Mark before. And I think
was it a Mark
liked...
connection? Was it Mark like, hey, I think we should bring Joe Spano?
I have no idea. I never asked him.
This is Don Belisario directing the first episode of the series.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that. Yes, of course.
Yankee White,
Got
episode
so
1.
That's on
a big Air
deal.
Force One.
Yeah.
And there's a dead body on Air Force One. FBI has control of the plane. NCIS, in the guise of Ducky, comes on as the county coroner, but he never lies and says he's the county coroner, but he pretends that he is. So we get FBI off the plane. Sasha is Secret Service with the president. Harmon tells me to go tell the pilot we're taking off. We pull it up. We wave goodbye to you, and we take off with the body.
And I'm on the rack.
Yeah.
This show on the road.
Oh, gosh. I'm sorry. We overbooked the flight.
What the hell are you doing? What's going on? Stop!
And it was a hell of a shoot, and it had been delayed a little bit, and it was the summer of 2003, and I remember the first day because I was so nervous. I was as nervous as like a bag of kittens. I didn't know what I was going to do.
Bag of kittens are always very nervous.
Well, they're nervous because they're about to be drowned.
I've seen so many.
They're about to be drowned is what I meant.
Oh, God, that went dark.
Well, that's what happens. But I was a huge Hill Street fan and have seen you in movies and all these other things. But I just remember watching you walk around, and you had a kind of Bogart trench coat on, and you were kind of walking around the set, very assured, very confident, very FBI. And I was looking at Harmon, and he was kind of doing his thing. And David McCallum from The Man from U.N.C.L.E. is doing his thing. And I'm looking around, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, how did I get here? I had that imposter syndrome.
He's always had that syndrome.
It's an actor thing. I'm sure you've had it.
Yeah, I'm getting here today, knowing that I don't have anything to say.
You're like, and I will
never. Nothing will come into my head. And we'll sit here.
So you do an ensemble drama that wins a kabillion Emmys, like Hill Street Blues. You go through, and we talked a little bit about this stuff back in the day, but and Harmon's doing St. Elsewhere roughly the same time.
Is that how did you guys meet?
Yeah, probably
That's
on that
NBC.
Right? It was Mary Tyler Moore at that point.
Did you guys have like a friendship, or was it more like, hey, Joe, hey, Mark?
I think we went to these
the lunch
athletic things. Something of the stars.
Howard Cosell. Howard Cosell would remember he would be the host. I'm here with Joe Spano.
Yeah, I think we were in a car once, but we know each other. And when his father died, I sent him an email, or however people connected with each other, because I knew that was such a big thing for him.
Yeah.
And then I was in one of his other shows, and I think that was probably because of him.
Reasonable Doubts?
Oh, yeah, Maplin.
Yeah, that was Reasonable Doubts.
That's Reasonable Doubts, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
law show.
We had some crossing over, but not socially or anything like that.
Do you have any recollection of bringing Tobias to life, like saying this is who Fornell is, or did you think it's a one-off FBI guy, I'll just do this and like?
Did you ever think that it would go 55 episodes in?
No way.
What's your process a little bit?
God, so I don't know. I do it all the same, I think. I think that the script tells me what they need, what the story needs, and then I do what I think tells that story the best and also makes me feel like a human being, and that I can carry out as a human being.
Right. What do you think is the key to the success of the show?
I think in a way, just like Hill Street Blues was, it's about the people. It's
Yes.
not about, although it's obviously more of a show about something happening and coming to a closure.
Procedural.
Procedural. Right. It's there, but it's sort of like that's the roller coaster you're on. What you're really interested in is the people, their personalities, the way they form a working unit. I was thinking in the show that we ostensibly are talking about, which we're not really talking about, there's a shot in which you lean into Gibbs on his desk and there's a light there and you say one line.
Our director has friends in high places, yes?
Something I can do for you, Officer David.
Abby needs to see you.
I was not sure exactly what it was about, but it was your presence and it was the emotion of what you were saying to him, which made him do something, of course. That was really unique. And the ability to do that, and I think you were fairly new to the show there.
It was my first season, yeah.
Yeah, third season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was so different the way you reacted to people. And so I'm getting to that. So everybody is who they are there. And they're clear. And people can see them and what they're doing, even when they're hiding stuff. So it's the importance of the people who are creating these characters who are complex but can be seen by people because they're open.
Mm-hmm.
They are open with themselves, and they're open when they're making a line. They're open when they're making a joke, which in that episode you make a lot of, and they're always funny.
She's pretty. I like to think that I'm the Michael Douglas to his Carl Malden on the streets of D.C.
Thank you, everybody.
It's great.
I have to thank you for something because you were one of the few people when I left. And, you know, whatever the reasons were, they were my own personal reasons. You never cared what those reasons were. You were the only person that came up to me and you gave me a huge hug and you said, congratulations. And I will never forget that because that was so beautiful, and you had no idea what I had gone through in order to make that decision. And it was a really beautiful moment, and I just want to say thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was just such a generous thing to do to another actor, to free them and to support them, because ultimately that was a really tough time for me. And you were the only person that never questioned. You came at me with such an open heart. You were not a part of the everyday family, but you came to me and you just gave me this massive hug. And the first words that came out of you were, congratulations. And I'll never forget that. Like, as a human being, the gift you gave me was so massive. I don't think you understand what it was like to be held in that way, in that moment, even if it was an instant, because I think it was just us reading the episode before we even shot the episode, which was my last episode there. And I had no idea it was going to be my last episode. Mm. And it was just a remarkable thing to be given as I was leaving. And it was a beautiful thing. I don't even think you are aware of what you gave me, but I have to acknowledge it because I have you here and I haven't seen you since.
I had a sense that that's what you needed. And I had a sense that was the truth. And that you weren't going to be accepted as being the truth, or anybody there, because everybody else has different ambitions.
Sure. And by the way, people, as you said, people see what they want to see, and people have their own stories, you know. And sometimes when you don't have the facts and you can't step into people's shoes, it's impossible for you to see the reality that they're going through or to perceive things that they're feeling. And I felt that you completely overstepped that and you got ahead of that and you said, oh, well, who cares about that? let's look at what she just did. And she's about to enter another chapter. And the idea of entering another chapter deserves a congratulations, you know? And I thought, first of all, I thought, well, what a great guy. And then I thought, what a great dad to have. Well, because I know your kids, you know?
Yeah.
So I thought, what a wonderful father to have that awareness, to be able to free somebody from duty or anything that's perceived as such.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
Of course.
I mean, thing about you, it wasn't also, it was structured that way and done really well. You probably remember this. One day, one of the other actors, who I won't name, said, Michael told me to come talk to you. He was really upset about thinking about leaving the show. And, you know, as we all do, we didn't have enough to do and our characters weren't going in the right place and I could do better somewhere. And you sent them to me, which I thought was great.
Sent them to Yoda.
So thank you for that. I mean, it's really wonderful to be sent to.
Well, the context.
You have a really good instinct with that. You kind of know where to go.
Well, we had conversations because there's a thing that happens. You're so thrilled when a show does hit, when you feel that like, and NCIS, as you know, was never on the Emmy train or the cover of magazines train.
It was not that show.
It wasn't.
No, it was never that show.
But we got a huge audience, and everyone will come up to me in a men's room in the middle of the Chicago airport and want to talk to me about episode, model behavior. Yeah. Remember that one when they were the Bootcamp babes?
Well, that first shot is like, wow, that's really on the edge of...
That's pushing, but you have this moment where you, and also as an actor, as an itinerant, as somebody who worries, hand to mouth, month to month, suddenly you have this job in television where you're going to be able to pay your rent. And then after you do a couple seasons, you're like, am I going to be able to buy a house? Like,
every single year you're like, wait, what? It's such a treat.
To not have like a 10-year-old used car with like 30 outstanding tickets on it, to suddenly be, and then how quickly that changes into entitlement or,
it can happen.
It can happen.
It can happen.
And I think that
we were on a set where that wasn't tolerated.
But it's still,
and it always started with number one. And I'll give Harmon, you have to give Harmon a little nod on that because he kept us all of us, he kept us on check.
Yeah.
Gravity
boots. That's such a great one. And you came up with that. Gravity boots. You know that one, right?
Because Harmon could walk on water, on air. He could because when you're the king, you don't have to wear any clothes, and everyone's like, we love your clothes. It's like, there's no truth in your world.
Yeah.
There's no gravity. And you
came up with that, right? The gravity boot?
But Harmon put on these gravity boots where he made himself walk on the ground. He told me once, he was like, I had just bought a house, and he said, make sure you take your own trash out. And I was like, what? What do you mean? And he's like, do your own work. Do your, And
I mean, he taught me a lot about that stuff, like, pay your own bills and do this and do that. And that's the one thing that I always think about whenever young actors come up to me and they ask me questions. I always think that every single young actor should have like a lesson in accounting and money. Because if and when you book a job and you're fortunate enough to have a steady paycheck, I would say 98% of young people don't know what the hell to do with money. Yeah. They'll spend it. They'll get the greatest wardrobe. They'll buy the flashiest car. And I fortunately came from a very conservative background. So I would stash all my paychecks away. And
under your bed.
Exactly, yes.
She had shoe boxes full of...
No, and it's something that I feel like no one really talks about today. And every single time I meet a young actor, and I think it's because I used to talk about these things with Harmon all the time. He was like, make sure that, he just kind of kept it so real. And in that way, I always say he was very important to me.
And for me too. And one of the things I always remember about him was that the way he treated guest stars.
Always.
Or anybody.
We were just saying how he treated kids particularly, Yeah. He was so protective of kids and so good with guest stars. Remember can I get you a coffee? Can I get you a tea?
Well,
like he would take that to the next level.
Or he was, if somebody presumed that there would be somebody to fetch.
Oh, yeah, that'd be...
And if they turned to Mark and said, who do I ask to get a cup of water? And he'd say, you'd like a cup of water? And they'd say, yes. So he would walk off, and then he'd come back with a cup of water and make them feel lousy.
Yeah.
Because
Very scared.
Mark Harmon's now your production assistant.
By the way, so clever.
Yes.
So clever,
and
because there was nothing about it that would, I'm going to teach you. You know what I mean? It was just like,
there was a little...
Yes, but it wasn't, but it wasn't like...
He was teaching lessons all the time.
He was, but what I'm trying to say, there wasn't like a mean bone about it. It was just...
And he didn't go to anybody else.
No, that's what I mean.
But if you went one step beyond that, he would cut you off and say, it's that way. That's the next level, Harmon.
Yeah.
Like, if you're late 2 days in a row, then you might find yourself in under the wrathful gaze of those beautiful blue eyes. Beautiful eyes. So I have a Fornell question.
Yes, and then I have another question. You go first.
Fornell. Is it Fornell based?
Yes.
Okay, you go Fornell.
Well, actually, no. It's a Joe Spano question.
Okay.
I may have to say something if you guys aren't going to.
I want to. Okay, you say something.
You're one.
So 2 weeks ago, I go into the Trader Joe's near my house, and the guy at the door, he said, "Good afternoon, Mr. Spano." That sounds great. And then he said, "I got to ask you something. I did some acting." He said, "Was it your idea to pronounce his name Donozzo, or did they tell you to do that?" I said, "No, I came up with that."
That's such a cool... And was it a flaw or was it a total conscious decision?
Correct pronunciation.
No, I get it. But what, because, everyone else calls him Donozzo, so you could have just assumed it was, Well,
it was a punch at everybody else, too, a little,
Yeah.
You're saying it wrong.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
I'm going to say it correctly, and you guys are not.
Exactly.
But it's also a reverse punch, which is like, I'm going to say it wrong. Because that's the level of, that's also like it's a clever ploy. I mean, when Suzanne McRobert would correct, she is the script supervisor on NCIS, everyone at home. Wonderful,
by the way, has been there from day one. Like, it's
an
crazy.
Amazing lady.
And every single episode, every single day, every single hour. Like, that's the toughest
as
job.
Athena. But she would come over to Mark and say, "It's I think the pronunciation here is Ari." And we were doing Kill Ari.
Yeah.
And Mark would be like, "When is Ari getting back here?" He was Ari. And there was because Harmon made a choice that he wasn't going to call him Ari. He was not, because he didn't like, that character killed Kate. Character did not deserve the respect of proper pronunciation.
Right.
Like, and Mark does think about that stuff in a, Mr. Gravity Boots has given some stuff some thought. But as you were coming back, like, what is your memory of that, I guess, is my question.
As opposed to being a regular? Or
just as opposed to like the one-off or...
I thought it was great. I mean, it was just great.
Did you ever want to become, for example, a regular?
No,
Never.
I didn't want to have to do what you guys were doing. Not so much the time, but what it does to you.
Right.
So you knew.
What it does to you?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Which we haven't talked about.
Yeah. No, I could see it. It's unspeakable, actually, because you're turned into something. And you have to be that to a certain extent, promoting the show, reacting to people who see you in a certain way. That's not really who you are, but you want to cater to it for your job and for them. I mean, but doing that over and over again, I think you lose track of who you are. Not that anybody knows who they are at all, but sometimes you have some leeway,
right,
to finding something new for yourself. But in that, it's always being pushed on and pushing back or not pushing back and, being crushed by it or changed by it.
All the while you're bypassing life. And
there is that too. Yeah.
Yes. But I mean, it's not like we weren't going through things. we just couldn't deal with those things.
Yeah, we weren't given an opportunity.
Well, you just didn't have the time, and that's just the reality.
And
so
it's the same
you ended up
episode
just eating all of these emotions, and then what did you do? You just put them into the work because that's the only thing you could do, So inevitably, at some point, you start kind of like the engine, the car, and it's very funny because you called me at some point, and you told me this incredible thing. I think I'm not sure what season it was, but this, mind you, this may be like a very private thing, but I don't think I'm going to. Anyway.
There's nothing.
I can't wait.
No, he calls me up and he says, I had this awful dream. And I said, called a nightmare. And he goes, and I said, what was it? And he goes, that I was driving down this highway and that the car started slowly falling apart. So the wheels would come off and then the door would come off and then everything would come off. And I ended up in the middle of the highway, no car. The car was completely shattered, and I was holding the steering wheel in my hand,
White knuckle.
Yeah, and I remember throughout our friendship and through the ups and downs of life and everything that would happen, and every once in a while, not all the time, but Michael would reach out or I would reach out to Michael, and I would always at the end of the conversation remind him of that dream. I would say, remember, don't be the guy holding the steering wheel. Whatever you do, protect the car. Protect the vehicle that's taking you there. And in many ways, it's you, right? I mean, you are the car. You are the thing that's getting you to the next destination. So
you lose the horizon a little bit. You lose that equanimity and that sense of balance, and because all of a sudden you're thinking, well, wait a minute, I can do that, and I can do that, and why do I have to be here at 7:00? I want to be here at 8:00. He doesn't have to get here until 8:00. Daniel J. Travante and Veronica Hamill don't have to pull it. You're like, I mean, I'm making that up, but I'm just saying it's the kind of thing that can infect a certain show. And to your point before, Harmon wouldn't stand for that kind of stuff.
But sets do become infected.
It kind of seeps into the everydayness. Can I ask if you remember standing in the rain and Mark Harmon sitting on a park bench?
If I ask you something, Tobias, you gonna lie to me?
Depends on the question.
What's Ariel Suarez's real mission here?
I'm gonna lie to you.
That's when I had a reel.
With the rain, right?
That was in the reel. That was a beautifully written scene.
And you give him the movie that he should watch.
This is Kilari.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just watched this, and we could not stop talking about how well written that episode was.
It really was.
It really was. Those two, Kilari 1 and Kilari 2. It was just beautifully written. And everything was so seamless, and the characters were so well defined. And that scene between you and Gibbs, it's so true. It's such a good scene.
And there's a dog over in the gazebo.
And we're in full light. It was a sunny day, but we had sprinklers going on.
But the great thing is it makes it look even more magical that you can see the sunlight, but it's like there's a rain cloud over Gibbs, almost like a cartoon.
Yeah.
Do you remember running in an episode of NCIS and then suddenly hearing something pop in your leg and you were not running anymore?
Yes, I do.
Talk a little bit.
I think that happened to all of us. Which
talk
is
a little bit about running.
A generic question.
Talk a little bit about running on camera when you're, it's like, because I think the thing I heard you say was, I keep forgetting I'm not 35.
Yeah, no, that's very painful. And then you still have more
running
to do.
Yes.
And you don't want to look, totally.
There was a grimace. On the Spano
inside and outside.
Visage.
Yes, no, that happens. I don't.
You know what's one of my favorite Spano episodes? The episode with the wife, the ex-wife.
Oh yeah, all the
so
ex-wives,
good,
right?
Jethro, MTech, see if there's any new intel on Syria, North Korea, or Iran.
Did she just give us orders? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like turns out that you and Gibbs had a lot in common.
Yeah.
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 I mean, that's one of the wonderful things about, all of a sudden this background that you don't even know about as a character also comes into the script.
But you got to see this really comedic part of your character, which was so good, and And it's funny because to me it was very evident that you're the one that still had all the feelings and that Gibbs was completely resolved in his. And it was so cool because those were the choices you were making. It could have been very interesting to see that Gibbs had somehow been affected by this, but he was not. And you were the one who was still very much affected by this situation. And it was so much fun to see as an actor because you were both in a very sort of similar situation, but dealing with it in a very different way. And the conflict within you two and how he was dealing with you and how he was dealing with her, it was just such a fun character building show. All right, so we're going to play a little reality TV quiz.
Oh, God. Come on.
So you know you love your junk food.
Okay, let's do it.
So who was the first winner of American Idol? Come on, you know the...
I have no idea.
Oh.
I didn't either, by the way.
Catherine McPhee.
Oh, no.
Oliver Sacks.
Kelly Clarkson.
Is it somebody?
Kelly Clarkson.
Oh.
Who's like now,
just
by the
nod.
way, who's like now killing it with her talk show.
Oh,
yeah, and apparently she's doing really well. She went through a really tough time, that one. She'd be a fun one to have.
You got to know that the last time I really had to see a television show, it was Third Rock from the Sun.
Oh.
Good show.
Yeah.
It was a great show.
It was a good show. She was a good agent.
Philosophical. Sitting on the roof at the end of the show.
Yeah.
And we talk about...
All right, this is going to be a really kind of... It's probably my worst... The worst question you'll get. So which of these is not a real Kardashian sister? Sorry. Kim, Khaleesi, Kourtney, Khloe.
Khaleesi.
There you go!
Wow.
My daughter used to work for the youngest one.
Oh, okay. So we won't ask
You're
you
1 for 2. You're batting... you're batting 500.
What is the nickname of Nicole Polizzi, a star of MTV's Jersey Shore? Snoopy, Scooby, Snooky, or Susie Q?
Go for it.
Snooky.
Yes!
Oh,
did you know that, by the way, she was Chilean? She is Chilean?
I live on the East Coast.
Yes. Which of these is not a drag queen from RuPaul's Drag Race? Valentina, Magical, Mr. Mistopheles, Bob and the Drag Queen, Trixie Mattel.
Trixie Mattel.
Trixie Mattel.
Come on, you guys. Magical Mr. Mistopheles.
I figured if I answered super confidently...
you may just get it right.
Yeah. No,
Can you bluff in this game? I guess you can. There's just
and what
right
is
and
this? What is the theme song for the show? And this is a good one because we were all... I mean, I have no excuses for this one. For the show Cops. Remember the show Cops?
It's Bad Boys.
Bad Boys. Can we even sing it?
No.
Okay, so Bad Boys. There we go.
Did you just say that because you didn't want her to sing it?
No, because it's Spotify.
Oh.
That's what I'm...
Don't they own all the music?
Well, but you are the one that's always saying, don't sing it.
I know. Well, I'm trained by network television because then they have to pay for the music. We are going to, unfortunately, close this out.
I know. This has been such a treat, Joe.
I know.
Oh, it has for me,
too.
And I was so scared of it.
Were you really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Are we scary?
Did it seem...
No, you're not scary.
The medium?
Not the medium itself. It's difficulty in making things, thinking that you're going to say anything intelligent, but that you're not going to be present. It can be.
I have terrible news.
What?
You're actually asleep right now. You're about to wake up, and you're going to have to drive downtown and go to the Spotify studios. This was all
it's not
just
a nightmare.
dream.
It's all just
it's
a
not
dream.
a
It's
nightmare.
really a sweet dream.
Oh.
It was a beautiful thing having you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you
luck
for
with this.
coming back.
Ladies and
Thank
gentlemen,
you. Joe Spano.
I'm going to ask you a fan question. This is the time where we like to do the fan question. I'm going to ask you this one, and then you can ask me.
Okay.
Would you rather receive an Oscar for your work in an extraordinary film or a check for $10 million after taxes?
Wait, are you serious?
10 mil or an Oscar for a performance of a lifetime? I love that you have to think about it. It's good. It means it's a real question.
Did you make it up? Or
No, it's one of the fan questions.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, fans, by the way.
You know, the funny thing is, I think the one that would bring me the most happiness is probably the lifetime.
10 million.
No, the lifetime performance. You know, that being able to do something, not so much for the Oscar, even though that's an amazing thing, but I think the idea of tapping into something that where you experience yourself and you're proud of something that you do so much, and it's acknowledged. I think that would be very gratifying.
You know, if a fan is watching this and they're like, how do I get my question read? Do you know what they have to do?
What?
They have to send an email.
Oh.
Do you know where they send it?
No, but you do.
To, what's the name of our podcast? Off Duty
at Spotify.com. You see, I'm pretty good.
So if you have any email questions, offduty at Spotify.com, go for it. Let us know your thoughts. Here's another question for both of us. You obviously have amazing chemistry together.
Aw.
Very sweet.
It's all fake.
Who's an actor you haven't worked with, but who you think you'd also have great chemistry with?
You know, that's so, I mean.
Who do you think? Just watching them. You're like, me and Jake Gyllenhaal.
No, because you're watching an actor, right? You don't know who that person is.
So it's alchemy. You don't know what
Exactly. Maybe, by the way, you think they're kind of bland, like when they do interviews, and some people are very shy and they come across as one thing and then they're completely different.
I think I would have great chemistry with Denzel Washington.
You would? Why?
I don't know. I just get that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
I like Denzel Washington a lot. When I saw Glory in the movie theater, I stayed and I watched it again. Matthew Broderick also terrific in that film. But Denzel, that I stayed and watched the very next. I used to do that in the theater if I really liked a movie. But that's what Glory just stuck in my head with that one.
Well, that was a terrific movie. Mm-hmm. I remember being in elementary school and we had these two wonderful, wonderful history teachers. And they wanted to teach us about the Civil War. And one of the main things they did was they played that movie as part of the curriculum to teach. And I just thought, isn't that amazing? Especially for me, of course, as an actor. I was like, wait, what? We get to watch a movie?
I think you'd have great chemistry with pretty much anybody.
Well, I don't know about that.
I think I'm just throwing that out there.
You're the best. I wouldn't want to do this with anyone else. Let me just say, I wouldn't. I could only do this with you. I have to say it. So this is, by the way, one of our favorite moments. And this is definitely going to turn into a fan favorite. There you go. Gibbs rule of the day. Rule number 51.
Never call a fox a coyote.
Nope. Right. Sometimes you're wrong.
Sometimes you're wrong.
There you go.
That's very self-aware for a Gibbs rule.
Gibbsian.
Sometimes you go to the basement and drink by yourself while you build a boat. Cody, where can I watch NCIS?
You can watch NCIS on Paramount Plus and CBS. Next week on Off Duty.
While investigating a naval stockyard for a container with illegal weapons, Tony and Ziva are ambushed and forced to take cover in a container where they subsequently become locked in together. Again, Gibbs, McGee, and Abby are forced into a race against time to find their location before Tony and Ziva end up dead. It's season 3, episode 12, Boxed In. Stay with us, folks. Foof.
One of my favorite episodes.
Boxed In?
Yeah. Dennis Smith.
Remember when you forgot to put your earplugs in? Ooh.
Oh, my God. We can talk about that. No, don't give it away. Don't give it away.
Let's not give it away.
Okay, bye, you.
Bye.